Hi, good evening, Alicia. I am ready for our scheduled session today. So, you had a couple of questions on your mind and a couple of things that we had to review. So, how's your day going?
My day's been going pretty good. I've moved and just kind of got settled in today. Looking forward to the week that's coming up. Got a lot going on with work, in school. Got a full work schedule, and then about two or three projects with school. So I'm a little stressed out, but nothing too crazy. But yeah, everything is so far so good right now.
Good.
Few questions. Well, being that like having a full work week and I'm working like 45 to 50 hours this week. And then I also have like these projects that are due. Do you have like any suggestions on how maybe I can like organize myself to balance it out? Because it's just so much to like take in right now. I just need some sort of help like organizing, like maybe building a better schedule for myself.
I have a couple of suggestions. Remember when we discussed earlier as you were starting your school and you were talking to me about your work schedule and that you're progressing well and you earned a wonderful promotion and things are getting a little bit busy with your work schedule. So you wanted to find time to have that balance. So we kind of talked about like having time off and utilizing, like your personal days or allowing yourself vacation times or your downtime and maximizing that as well as balancing that with your school schedule. So have you been able to find like a healthy balance then so we can work on what we can additionally add to it?
Well, I do. I believe I do have a somewhat of a healthy balance. It's just as you said, with like finding like the downtime or like even like off time where I can kind of focus on that. I seem to have like a bit of an attention span of a peanut
Oh,
where I have intention on like, okay, this is my off day. So from 9 to 11, I'm going to study a little bit. And then from after that, maybe I'll go for a walk for about an hour. But at some point through that 9 to 11 time span that I need to be studying, my mind will be all over the place. So I'll probably be doing two and three things that I'm not really completing.
mhm.
And then I have like, where the project is like left over, studying where it's like, oh no, I didn't utilize the time frame that I had. Now I just need some sort of help like organizing a bit better. That's my
Okay, so what I would like for us to work on is creating our weekly schedule. I don't want to overwhelm you with overlooking at your next 30 to 31 days. I want you to focus on 1 week. So in
okay.
that 1 week, I want you to focus on the weekday. So what I would like for you to utilize is your work schedule. So you would, jot that down on your weekday schedule. And then your school schedule and then allot time for like studying but also to maximize yourself by taking time off. Maybe you can do gym exercise, yoga, or you can do some type of self care technique or treatment that can allow yourself a little bit break from work and balancing school study at the same time. And just giving you that grace period just to really not put yourself in a compromise that's going to stress you out and have you doing three tasks at once, but to focus on that initial task at hand. So to just really just write out like, so from 7 a.m. to noon, you're studying. So let's say Monday, 7 a.m. to noon, you're off from work. That's a great thing. So you already have one task out the way. You decided to do your work, your school studies from 7 a.m. to noon, couple of classes and whatnot. And then from noon, like once noon starts, you're going to take your, lunch break. But what would be a good self-care regimen for that day that you would like to begin?
Taking a walk. I have
Okay.
dogs, so I usually just kind of like take them out for like pretty long walk, like down to the park to kind of just like my mind of anything troubling or just like that whole like overload of like schoolwork. I just need a break to kind of like breathe it off and kind of start fresh for something new.
Okay. So after we've finished our school time and our schedule, we take in our lunch hour and then we will go right into our walk. So that will be it for the day. There'll be no additional picking up books, no studying, no additional effects like work ideas or anything like that, just to get your mind into just giving yourself a breather because that's a large chunk of time to focus on. So for Tuesday, what would you like Tuesday to reflect? You go back to work, you do have evening classes, so how would you like to incorporate a self-care moment for yourself?
I think, I guess like because my classes are online and it's not like a visual like Zoom like this. So it's a live class, but we don't have to see each other, their slides. But during that time, as I'm taking it in, I could also, maybe be soaking my feet for a pedicure, or even like maybe like,
Okay.
which is maximizing like maybe hitting two birds with one stone. So I'm at a comfort level, but I'm also taking in the information, not feeling like stressed out. Like I'm relaxing and staying informed at the same time, if that makes sense.
That totally makes sense. So that would be a good balance because you'll have your work day starting out in the morning towards the afternoon, and then you would have that moment in time where you're doing a pedicure, you're doing a self-care, you're getting away from work, you are not setting yourself up for school just yet. Once the pedicure is over, you completed your self-care regimen, and then you get into your school mode. Now for Wednesday and Thursday, you have kind of a same balance today as of Tuesday. So what other exercises would you recommend for yourself for like self-care and like getting your mind away from doing multiple tasks and being able to do a task each time without overwhelming yourself?
Loom knitting, and then I haven't read anything on a personal level as of yet in quite some time, like personal reading. Um, so I did actually order the book The Alchemist that I'm actually going to start reading that. So yeah, pretty much like that's it, like reading, and then like loom knitting. I made a scarf and I loved it. So I'm going to try to make a scarf and maybe like a few blankets.
Good. And then as Friday comes in, it's pretty much like closing out your week. So how would you like to begin your ending of that long week? It was very busy. You had work, you had school, you had a day off on Monday, you had a little bit more time for self-care. So how would you like to like sum up your weekday, which is the balance between work and school and self-care?
Well, after work, I'd like to go to have like a nice little cocktail. That'd be great. But usually, like round up the end of the week, finishing out like any tasks I have to do as far as with my animals or any appointments that I have to make. Try to get all like administrative, I guess, or personal clerical things just done so I can enjoy the weekend. So I kind of set myself up Friday for that Monday for the next work week or the next school day, the next work day or the next school day. So I can take the 2 days, the Saturday and the Sunday off to just relax and just find some peace.
Good. So how do you feel like we're going forward as far as like handling every weekday at a time instead of just like looking at the whole month in advance and just getting overwhelmed with like the next couple of days or the next 2 to 3 weeks? How do you feel giving you that idea of taking each task as itself, not overwhelming yourself with multiple tasks at one, really getting into your self-care regimen and then summarizing it all up for your Friday so you can have free time for your weekend?
It's not as pressure filled. I feel like that's something that I can more than handle. It'll put me on like a nice regimen or give me like a nice routine to start on. And if at some point where I find myself where I can add on a little bit more of like self-care or maybe more of like an outside project, and at that point I feel like this going this route might enable me to have that extra not that extra time, but maybe I can commit to an extra activity if I want. um but I feel like this is right now the routine that I have is that I'm gaining right now is good. It's helpful. It's not stressful. It's not pressure filled. I feel like I can take things one moment at a time, one task at a time, and not feel rushed or I have to get it done, or it's just I can sit in the moment, focus, get what I can done, and then move on to the next thing, which would be okay, treat myself, so to say, and like here's some self-care things to do. So I'm pretty positive about like moving forward with this routine now.
Good. Is there any additional questions that you may have for me at this time? Is there anything that you would like to add into your notes or any progress or updates with me?
No, I think we're all square and set and good to go.
Good.
I all your help and the time and effort that you do put in for me. So yeah, thank you. I'm pretty set.
Very good. So have a good evening, and I'll be talking to you at our next meeting.
All right. Thanks.
Bye.